You're listening to the Power Agent Blogcast, empowering agents to elevate their business to the next level.
Challenges are just a guide, leading you, don't run and hide. You've got the heart, you've got the drive. Feel it pound your life. Power Agent.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know, we're all swimming in information these days, right? Just constant updates, headlines, changes. It's tough to cut through the noise and figure out what actually matters. And right now, one area feeling this intensely is the real estate industry. We're seeing these huge shifts, especially with things like the big NAR lawsuit and the settlement. It's really changing the game for how buyer agents get paid.
It really is, and that's exactly what we're jumping into today. We want to understand how real estate brokerages, the leaders, can navigate this tricky new landscape. It's not just about surviving, but actually figuring out how to thrive. So we'll look at the, let's call them legal landmines, and maybe more importantly, how you build a bulletproof operation. And we've pulled this from insights, from people really in the trenches guiding folks through this.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. So one thing we're hearing about right at the heart of it is this idea of a dangerous disconnect, like a gap between what agents really need right now for security and what they feel they're actually getting from their brokerages. So what happens then? I mean, what are the consequences when agents feel, unprotected?
Well, the consequences are, frankly, pretty serious for the business itself. You've got competitors actively jumping on this vulnerability. And look, it's not just about offering, a slightly better commission split anymore. Agents are being poached because another brokerage seems like it offers more security, more protection. You hear about agents feeling confused, anxious, kind of floundering in the dark, really.
Floundering, yeah.
Yeah, like we've seen examples where agents get handed these massive, 15-page listing agreements full of legalese, or maybe the fee structures aren't clear, don't match the new rules, or they're told, just use this standard form, but it still talks about cooperative compensation, even if the seller isn't offering it. And maybe the clearest example, being told something like, just call the listing agent before you show the house to see if they're paying buyer agents. That kind of stuff, that uncertainty, it leaves agents feeling really exposed and competitors. They're highlighting that difference.
Yeah, and that's a key point, isn't it? This isn't necessarily about agents being disloyal or wanting to jump ship just because. It feels more like, survival. If they don't get clear, confident answers from their own brokerage, they're going to look somewhere else. Makes sense. Maybe to coaches, trainers, maybe even competitors, which really leadership should see that as a signal, right? A cue, not like a criticism of the agent.
Exactly. That's a really crucial distinction. It's a wake-up call. And if we dig a bit deeper into where brokerages are kind of exposed because of these older ways of doing things, two areas really stand out. First, there's this thing we could call the forms problem.
Okay. The forms problem.
Yeah. A lot of managers are still making agents use the default state forms or maybe NAR forms that
they don't really serve the client or the company best anymore. But wait, aren't those the standard forms? I mean, why are they suddenly problematic?
Right. And that's the justification you hear. Well, we've always done it this way, but that's the danger. Often these forms are, frankly, too complex. Lots of legal jargon nobody understands. And the big one, they often have language about buyer-side compensation that just doesn't apply now, or maybe isn't the smart way to handle it, like that term cooperative compensation. That idea the listing broker always offers something to the buyer's agent. That's not really the default anymore post-settlement. So using forms that still imply that or are just vague about who pays what, it creates a real mismatch with the current legal standards. It's like a hidden trap.
Wow. It's kind of wild how something so basic, so routine, like a standard form, can suddenly become this huge risk. It really shows how deep these changes go, doesn't it? And that leads us to that other thing you mentioned, another practice that sounds harmless but is actually a legal landmine, the call before showing policy.
Exactly. Right. So this is where some brokers are telling their buyer agents, hey, before you show that house, call the listing agent. Just ask if they're offering a buyer agent fee. Now, on the surface, maybe it sounds like just doing your homework right.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
But it's being described as a really significant legal landmine. And here's why. That kind of call could easily look like steering, where agents might, maybe unintentionally, guide clients based on who's paying what commission, or even worse, it could look like collusion, like competitors are secretly coordinating on fees or terms.
Oof, antitrust territory.
Big time. Both are huge no-nos under antitrust law, which is all about fair competition and protecting consumers. And remember, the whole industry is under a microscope right now.
Yeah.
Regulators, the public, everyone's watching. So company policies have got to protect agents, not put them at risk just because that's how we did it.
Okay, so if sticking to the old ways is basically playing with fire now, what should leaders be doing? How do you actually, like you said, bulletproof your brokerage? It sounds like it takes, well, courage maybe, not just sticking with what's comfortable.
Absolutely. Courage is the word. Bulletproof leadership, as we're framing it, means taking very specific, proactive steps. It really starts with giving agents completely up-to-date tools. That means dialogues, forms, buyer agency agreements, all fully compliant with today's laws, not yesterday's. It means looking at those standard association forms and customizing them. Treat them like templates you adapt to minimize any whiff of antitrust issues.
So not just using them off the shelf.
Definitely not. And then, crucially, training. You have to train every single agent, every manager on what they absolutely can and cannot say about compensation, about representation, commission disclosures, all of it. It needs to be crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's also about building a culture where agents really genuinely feel the brokerage has their back when things get tough.
Right, that sense of support.
Yes. And finally, being open, welcoming third-party experts, people who can come in with fresh eyes, help you spot the gaps, and stay ahead of the curve because things are changing fast.
So it sounds like a serious investment, not just money, but like time and real focus on the tools, the training, the policies, basically protecting your people and your brand.
Precisely. And honestly, the stakes for not doing this, they're incredibly high. Agents know their license, their income. It all hangs on making smart, compliant choices every single day. If their leaders aren't giving them clear, confident guidance through all this disruption, they will look for a brokerage that does. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's not about wanting someone to hold their hand necessarily. It's more like needing a reliable safety net, right?
Right.
Knowing their support when the ground feels shaky. And here's the thing that really stood out to me. It's probably not going to be the part-timers or the less engaged agents who leave first. It'll be the sharpest ones, the savviest, most professional agents on the team. They're the ones most likely to see the risks and make a move.
That is the absolute crucial point. Those are the agents you can least afford to lose. Look, companies that just bury their heads in the sand, the ones leaning on, oh, but we've always done it this way, they are taking a massive gamble. They could easily end up facing lawsuits. The brokerages that survive and thrive through this shift, they'll be the ones asking the tough questions, challenging the old ways. They'll be proactively investing in things that actually protect their agents and their reputation. They'll lead with clarity, with courage, with integrity. That's what this moment calls for.
There was this really powerful message we saw, almost like a leader speaking directly to their team that captures this perfectly, this idea of bulletproof leadership. It was something like, look, we're in a season of big change, huge change, and I need you to hear this straight from me. I've got your back. There's so much noise out there right now. Lawsuits, rules changing, confusing forms, questions about compensation, all of it. But the most dangerous thing isn't the change itself. It's leaders being silent when they should be stepping up. That's not us. So I want to make sure you feel informed, trained, supported, not just when things are easy, but especially now when the stakes feel so high. That means we're going to look at everything, our policies, our forms, how we do things, how we train you. If we find gaps, we're going to close them. If there are risks, we'll tackle them head on. If there are better ways to support you, we will find them. We won't lead out of fear. We're going to lead with clarity, courage, and integrity. That's the kind of message agents need to hear, isn't it?
Absolutely. In this new world of real estate, I think the core takeaway is just undeniable. Silence isn't safe anymore. It's actually a direct line to liability. Being proactive, leading with courage. That's the only real safety net now.
That really is a powerful thought to end on, isn't it? Playing it safe isn't safe anymore. It makes you wonder, how could that idea, challenging the old ways, leading with integrity, even when it's hard, how might that apply in other fields, other industries facing rapid change or maybe more scrutiny? What are the sort of traditional, we've always done it this way, practices in your own world that might be silently creating risks you haven't thought about? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.